Hello, this is video 4 in the series of Mrs. Doyle and Father Ted. So now I've got to get into that mindset to try and remember how she sounds and speaks. Here we're looking at all hell breaks loose in the presbytery. My word, all hell breaks loose. Well, let's picture the scene. It's early Friday morning. It's a beautiful day. And the postman, she heard the pony and trap outside. The postman had dropped off all his mail for the presbytery, and Mrs. Doyle, being Mrs. Doyle, decided to go and collect the mail and put it on the priest's tray when she presents them with breakfast. And she could see there was a letter addressed to Mrs. Doyle, and she was quivering. She had to make herself a cup of tea, sit herself down, she readjusted her hair. And can you just picture her sat down at the kitchen table in the presbytery? She gets a knife, she opens it, she reads it, and she goes, "Oh my God, they've replied. The Teo community of St. Francis have sent me an invitation to come and meet with them in Dublin." And she looked and she thought, when is that? Tomorrow? How will I tell Father Ted? So she's thinking of all sorts. But then she realises she's not had a day off in weeks. So she just said to Father Ted, when he came downstairs after his breakfast, she says, "Father Ted," she says, "I'm taking the day off tomorrow if that's all right with you." "Of course, Mrs. Doyle, not a problem, pet." "Doing something nice?" "Yes," she says, "I'm off to Dublin." And then she realised she better hold a little bit back. "Oh, would that be to see your aunt, Sissy? Or would it be to see your cousin Molly?" "No," she says, "I'm going to have tea with the Teo community of St. Francis." He said, "What? That God-forsaken shower of imbeciles from England who are supposedly into whatever?" She said, "I am." He said, "Over my dead body." She said, "Well, if you put it like that," she said, "well, that'll be no loss because there's 2 other priests in the house." So he's fuming with her. And she starts getting a bit panicky. And as he leaves her, he's slamming the doors. He's shouting and bawling at the top of his voice. Bloody heathens, calling themselves children of God when they don't believe in Jesus. "Oh," he says, "this is dreadful. The shame the woman has brought on this house. What will the bishop think?" And Mrs. Doyle could hear all that, and she said, Jesus, sure, what's the point? So she collected herself and composed herself. She took out her rosary beads and she started praying the rosary for guidance. And she didn't sleep a wink that night with excitement and fear and trepidation, because she'd read stories of where people went and met various people from different groups, like the Hare Krishna crowd, and they never returned. The family couldn't find them. So she's thinking to herself, well, I'm glad I've told Father Ted, because at least he'll know, but he won't know where in Dublin, so I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll quietly leave the address by the kettle so that when he makes himself a cup of tea, he'll know. So anyway, 6 o'clock rise in the morning, Mrs. Doyle gets herself all shampooed and set, puts on the tutty on the lips. She's not had tutty on them lips, since Christmas. And she gets herself in the pony and trap, and she takes herself to the railway station, which is about 3 miles away. And it's a beautiful morning. And she's got her little bag there, and she's got a few little goodies for the community, some homemade soda bread. And anyway, she gets herself to the station, and sure Jesus, doesn't she recognise some of the gossips from the village who are going to Dublin as well. And they're curious to know why she's going and who she's going to see. So she decides to play her cards safe to her chest. Morning, Mrs. Doyle. Asher, good morning to yourself, Mrs. O'Toole. How are you? Lovely day for travelling. Lovely day, Mrs. O'Doyle. Where are you going? Well, I'm going to Dublin, pet. Yes, I've got an errand of mercy. Oh, an errand of mercy, Mrs. Doyle. She said, yes, she says. I'll let you know more when I've been and done it. I think I'm going to a dog's home. Were you bringing back a dog? What does Father Ted think about a dog in the presbytery? Sure, doesn't he have an allergy to fluff? Asher will worry about that. Go on, go on, go on. So she composes herself, she gets out her little book, and she starts reading about the life of the saints. I think it was Patrick. And anyway, they pull into Dublin, Amen Street Station, and she gets herself the bus to this place in Ranelagh. And apparently it's a big convention. It's an open day for the Teo community in Ireland. And there's a great friend of the community there called Mary Kelly. And she's been busy spreading the word and holding it in her prayers, because she's been to their place in England. And she's met the choir fella, Brother Sean. So when she heard this, she thought, oh, Jesus, I'll single this Mary one out and we'll have a good old gander. So anyway, she was introduced to Mary Kelly when she arrived at Ranelagh. And she said, come here to me. I believe you've been to the place in Cumbria. She said, oh, I have. Should I'm telling you now? She said, it's drop dead gorgeous. It's beautiful. The peace. Should they've got statues of Our Lady in the garden. And they've got Buddhas as well. What? What are they? Buddhas? You've heard of Buddha, Lord Buddha? She said, no, I haven't. Oh, she said, it's very tasteful. And the food. Oh, she said, it's like being in a 5-star hotel. The beds are very comfortable. I believe they do Egyptian cotton sheets. Are you on about a monastery here or a 5-star hotel? Oh, Mrs. Doyle, she said, it's better than that. Should they do everything for you? Well, anyway, I want to hear about them because I've had a letter, you know. She said, yes, they told me. I have to keep an eye on you. Oh, really, Mrs. Kelly? Okay, then. Well, you best sit with me then. So then this woman starts talking. I think her name was Joy. She had a beautiful accent, like a German Austrian, but she spoke very beautiful and obviously very, very intelligent. She knew what she was talking about. And there was a man with her, but he had a funny accent, like an American, accent. And I think they called him Brother Tom. But then there was some other woman with her called Elsie. Jesus, she was away with the fairies. I think she was an Aquarian. Well, anyway, they got talking about the Teo community and the vision and how God spoke through Francis to this fella called Sean. Jesus, she said, it was great. And it all happened in Assisi. Down at the tomb. Jesus, the dead, was speaking, Mrs. Kelly. No, she said. He felt it in his heart. Oh, for God's sake, what are you on about? He felt it in his heart. No, in prayer he was silent, and he sensed God speak through Francis. Sure, Jesus, that's above my head, Mrs. Kelly. Well, don't you listen in your heart at all, Mrs. O'Doyle. I'll go on with you, woman. Sure, I don't know what you're on about. I'm very simple in me faith. I do me morning prayers, me prayer to me guardian angel, and me fit 15 decades of the rosary every day. Sure, don't you think that's enough? Ah, but Mrs. Doyle, the Teo community, the message is that it's not just for Catholics. It's for all the children of God. What do you mean? Well, it's for Jews and Muslims. I've never heard of them, Muslims. What are they? Oh, they believe in the Prophet Muhammad. Sure, feck's sake, who's he? Oh, he was a very holy man like Jesus. And he wrote the Quran. And they also say that the Archangel Michael inspired him in his heart. Oh, Mother of God, that's amazing. So they've got some Catholics involved anyway. No, Michael isn't a Catholic. The angels aren't Catholics, Mrs. Doyle. They're messengers of God. Oh, well, I never knew that. Well, anyway, she sat there, Mrs. Doyle, listening, and she was really impressed by the simplicity, by the honesty and the integrity. So Mary says to her, I think you'll be joining up. She said, oh, I don't know. Father Ted's not too keen on it at all. Oh, she said, you take no notice of him. Sure, he's in the country. These priests in Dublin are more liberated. Sure, they've got their own Visa card and their own cars. They don't do poverty in Dublin. Well, they do in the west of Ireland, because recently we needed Bickie's biscuits, and I was only given 10 shillings. So she said to her, oh no, Mrs. Doyle, she said, I think this is the way forward. Do you now? Well, let's see.